Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So I am home, I am back in France and I could not be happier. I had a little bit of an ordeal trying to get here, but I am finally home. So I will do a little bit of a life update at the end for anyone who's interested. I have a feeling this is going to be quite a short video, but my first apology is I did not realise that it is now Tuesday when I'm filming this. I've completely gone into vacation mode and I was meant to have a video up on Sunday, and for the life of me on Sunday I kept thinking it was Friday. No idea why, but I kept thinking it was Friday. So obviously I hadn't had a video filmed. I didn't put one up because in my head it was Friday. So I do apologise for this one going up on a Tuesday. Hopefully it will go up today. I am filming quite early in the morning to give myself time to edit, but I have not uploaded a YouTube video at my parents' house in many years, and the internet is still as bad as it was back when I was living here full time. So hopefully this will go up on Tuesday, if not Wednesday. I do apologise. I have already preset an alarm for a week and a half's time to film my next one, and then an alarm to upload it the Saturday night to be ready for Sunday. So I do apologise for that. It has been just one of those where I have completely switched off and just been enjoying time with my family. So yes, stitching wise this week, actually best new thing, because I have been missing that for the past 2 episodes I believe, and someone did comment to say that I'd forgotten it. So my best new thing is obviously being back at home, spending time seeing my mum and dad. I've seen my 2 sisters. I actually went to stay with them for a couple of days. It has been lovely. So what I have been working on, I have 2 finishes, one of which I can't show you just yet because it is for my next Flosstube extra. So depending on when the supplies get in here to like FFO it will either be up next weekend or it will be up probably a couple of days later. I do want it up before my next Flosstube because I have been meaning to do a shout out to this shop for quite some time. This Flosstube extra is going to be a local shop or support a small business. So I have this week, I have designed, I have stitched and finished the piece. Now there is a little sneak peek on Instagram, so I'll put that up here. In if you can work out who the shop could be, then leave a little message down in the comments and we'll see if you're right. So the next finished is one that I can actually show you. Now, as I said, a lot of these won't be FFO'd until I get back to school. I have the piece that I want to try and FFO this on. I will just have to see if this fits. And this is my Made to Create cell. And I am super happy that this is done. I love it. So I did a lot of changes in mine. First of all, I changed all of my threads. I didn't use the DMCs. What I did was I went through my Barabara Designs threads. Now, if you haven't tried them, definitely check them out. The shop link is down below. Their threads are really affordable and they're gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, so they are all that I've used in here except for the white, which is just a DMC B5 200. So I've changed the threads that we use. So everyone else that I've seen in the group has used the called for threads, and it does look gorgeous. I just wanted to use some of my Barabara Designs threads rather than hoarding them. And I love how like the knitting needles and the ball of thread came out here. This ball of threads turned out, they're absolutely gorgeous. So that was the first biggest change. This is stitched on 20 count Belliana even weave in cream or ivory, I'm not sure which now. The next change I did was I messed up my tape measure. So I did mess up my tape measure, and rather than frogging it, I fudged it the whole way through, which, to be honest, I don't think you could tell I've messed up the tape measure until I've just told you all. The next one is over here. I decided to put my initials in what I think is meant to be the rubber. Now this was meant to be in rainbow. I did start stitching it in rainbow, but the problem was my variegated threads were just so variegated that it just didn't look right. So I decided to go with my favourite thread that I've been using recently, which is the Arabian Days by Barabara Anna Designs, and I stitched that and just used the Nevermore, which is the black, to put my full initials in. And then the last part is the frame is meant to have like a pink kind of scallop design. I decided to just do away with that because I quite liked how the neat edges of just one of the threads was working. So that is my Made to Create. I absolutely love this, and this is one of those ones, if I ever had my own place that had a craft room or a craft corner, this would be going up. This is just going to be going up in my bedroom back at the school because obviously it's one room. I don't really have a craft corner, but if I ever, or when I get my own place, that will be something that I do put up on the walls because I absolutely love that. I ended up stitching mine 1 over 1 on this, so with one thread over one square, and I have so much of the thread left. I could probably stitch another one with the same threads that I've used, so it really does not use too much threads if you're stitching 1 over 1. If you didn't want to stitch that as a stitch along, they do have it available as a full kit, where now when you buy it you get the full chart. It is a gorgeous pattern. I really do love it, and it's definitely one that I will be finishing. The next one I have, and you guys have seen this quite a few times, I haven't taken this out of the packet, so I'm hoping there's not too much of a glare. This is my unicorn chart. I have wanted this for so long. I found it on eBay and then it was just sitting in my box of charts, and I just kept looking at it going, I should stitch this, but never having the motivation to actually stitch it because I was like, what fabric am I going to use? What threads am I going to use? I knew it had to be black, but I was like, I don't know. So this is My Shadow by Heartstring Samplery, and it is one of their old versions of charts. It has got a photo on the front here, but it is absolutely stunning. I decided to do this one for the July cross stitch camp. I don't think I'm going to be finished in July, but I'm not too fussed if I'm not. I've started it, which means I will now finish it and I will have this up. But I did not realise how big this thing was. This thing is huge. This is on 20 count. I think it was called for, yeah, actually it is called to stitch on. It was model stitched on weeks dye work 40 count linen. So 20 count is the called for. And I can see why this design would be huge if it was on a 14 or a 16 count. So this is that fabric that is never going to show up properly. This is 20 count Cassia Rose Aida, because I am an Aida stitcher, by Chromatic Alchemy. And this piece of fabric, just for reference, I'm going to scoot back a little bit so I can try and get it in full frame. This piece is a 13 by 18. I know normally when you film Flosstube, you're right up here and the piece looks huge anyway. This piece is huge, and it is going to be, the silhouette is going to be full cross stitch. So admittedly, when I was in the UK, I didn't do too much. I did the outline and I started on, this is very weird trying to find this on the camera. I started here and got to about here in her arm. That was all the stitching. I did stitch on this one a little bit at the airport, not too much because I didn't really have time. But yes, and then I sat, and for one night I decided to finish off her arm and do this whole stretch. And then yesterday I did all of the head that I've got here. And I think with this project, this is going to be my everyday stitch. I have currently put down my Autumn Lane Autumn Town because I am still working on it, but I think this is one of those ones that if I put it away, I'm never going to finish it. And this has been my unicorn for so long, and I want it stitched. But it's one of those ones, I didn't realise how big it was, how long it's going to take, or how much thread I'm going to use. I am using a Sulky black for this, and I have the giant spool. So hopefully I won't run out of thread before I get down to the bottom, but I can always order more. They do sell them in France. So yes, so today's plan is to finish the head and maybe do a little bit more around the heart and then go from there. But I do want to try and get this finished, but I can see there is not any point saying that this is going to be finished by the end of July, just because this piece is so big. I am trying to spend as much time with family as possible. I'm stitching when my parents are at work because my parents are still working. Last week my mum had taken a week annual leave, but she is now back at work. My dad's back at work and he's got annual leave in 2 weeks, so just before I leave. So it's one of those where I do now have the time to stitch, and I am going to be stitching a little bit, but I do have other things that I need to work on. So this one I do not have the photo for, so I will stick a photo up here. This is Barabara Anna Designs Dreaming Girl, and I just started this, so I literally just have the bottom of the t-shirt done, and I'm stitching this on 16 count Storm Aida. So there is some mottling to the fabric. I'm not sure if you can see that at all, but I literally I'm just using the called for DMCs, and I've got the bottom of her shirt down. I am going to be stitching this one. These, I have got the Dreaming Frida, the Garden, and the Dreaming, is it Clint one? The other one. I have bought them all because I do plan to use these for gifts. So that is the cross stitch part of this done, and it's only 13 minutes long. Yes, I really haven't been doing that much. Well, one of them I have, to be honest, spent about 3 days on designing, stitching it all up, and I've just got to FFO it, and that, as I said, is for my Flosstube extra. The other thing I have been working on, and as you'll find out in life updates, not much, is I started an English paper piecing. So this is with the hexagons in the back, and this I am making to make a project bag panel, because my sister bought me this gorgeous Harry Potter fabric, because I still do like Harry Potter. I don't agree with J.K. Rowling, but Harry Potter was my childhood. So she bought me this gorgeous fabric, and she bought me just like a little fat quarter of it. So I was trying to work out how I can use the fat quarter in all of the sides of my bag. And as I said to you guys before, I am planning on doing a quilt English paper piecing with the center being a cross stitch, which I do still have. I have actually been working on that piece, but I don't have it here. It must be down in the main house. So that one I will just show next time. But yes, so I have been working on the panel. This is going to be the back panel of the bag. So this is my first attempt English paper piecing, and I have to say this is lovely. When I'm just sitting somewhere, I can just pull this out and do a little bit of work on this. I think that when I get to making the quilt, I'm really going to enjoy it. So this one is the fabric my sister bought me, the Harry Potter fabric. This is Chelsea's checks in blue. I originally bought this to do my quilt in, so I can just order more of that. If you're looking for Chelsea's checks or Priscilla's pretty plaids in the UK, look at the website So Hot UK. They had some of them, not all of them, but they did have some of them on there, and that is where I tend to get my fat quarter shop patterns when they come out, the Laurie Holt patterns, things like that. It's on there. And then this green fabric is one that I just picked up in a local shop near to my parents. I say local, it's about a 40-minute drive, but that's still local. So yes, this has been my other project. I spent yesterday afternoon, spent about 3 hours on this, and this is how far I got. That was cutting out the fabric as well. So I'm quite happy with this. I'm really enjoying this, and hopefully I will have a nice project bag to show you next time. So, haul wise. Right, so on to haul. So, let's start with the oldest haul I have. So, not Fat Corner. Why have I got Fat Quarter Shop stuck in my head now? So, Peakside Needleworks had a message up probably over a month ago. I think it was back in May, about whether you wanted to pre-order some of the new Plum Street sampler patterns. And there was 4 new ones that came out. I picked 2 of them to pre-order, which was, the first one was the hedgerow, and it is these gorgeous little hedgehogs. Now I do have another one of these kind of stack pillows I haven't stitched yet, but I do look forward to stitching that one. And then this one I fell in love with. This is Always Remember, and once again I do apologise, I haven't unpacked these yet, but this is a chart that I plan to modify, because my nan, who I used to call Mama, passed away a couple of years back now. Absolutely loved poppies, and all I saw in this chart was the poppies and the We Will Always Remember. So I'm going to rechart this. I'm taking out the eagles and the flag because for me it's not my type of stitching. I'm from the UK, so I don't need something that's patriotic to America. So what I'm going to do is I'm planning to stitch something related to stitching or sewing down here, maybe a little lady sitting sewing or stitching. I'm going to, for this eagle over here, I'm just going to add another poppy in, and then here it's going to say We Will Always Remember Purse, Passport and Pills, because that's what we used to say to her when we went on holiday, and I think that's going to look really cute. So these literally came in the day before I left to come to France, so super happy that these came in. I was going to be stitching this pretty much as soon as it came in, but I do have a couple of other things, and this one I need to do a little bit of work recharting. But I did go ahead and order from Sue at Peakside Needleworks all of the threads and DMCs. Now I have already broken into this to use the 310 DMC, and I've bobbinated that now, but everything else, she was lovely. She kitted out all the threads and sent it with my pattern. So definitely, if you ever are looking for somewhere to shop where you can, they have great customer service, you can message. I've messaged her a couple of times and said, I have a chart this size, do you have a piece of fabric? And she's been brilliant. She sent me a piece of fabric which has got a nice 2 to 3 inch margin. She always says to me, I've got one which is 2 inch, one that's a 3 inch. So she's been great, absolutely great. She's also ordered in fabric for me that I've wanted that have come from the States, and when she placed her next order, she just placed an order of that as well. Absolutely love shopping from her. So I have ordered the fabrics, and I had a piece of Storm Aida in my stash already, which is what I am planning to stitch this one on, because it is stitched on a blue colour, which is a fox and rabbit, I believe, but I can't see it on here for some reason. Eucalyptus. So I'm just going to go for my Storm Aida, and I have all my threads, and I'm ready to start that one when I want to. So when I was coming up to the when I was coming to France, I decided I didn't need to bring all of the fabric that I needed for different projects. I could just order it and have a small stash here. So I have ordered some 25 count, which is what I'm using for my quilt, which I really do need to work on stitching out. I seem to have brought far too much stitching that I'm just like jumping around all over the place, but I did want to get a couple of finishes done. So I ordered those, and I ordered the DMC threads to go with the Stitching with the Housewives patterns. I just ordered a couple of ones which I knew I didn't have with me in other projects, and I ordered that from Cassia, which is a French website, and I was having a look on there because if I spent another €10, I got free delivery. So I was just having a look and I found the Lila Studios Busy Bee. So if you know me, bees are a big part of my life, not because they're my favourite insect at all, but that is my nickname. It started at university. One of my best friends, he's one of my best friends now, but when we first met, it was in a crowded amphitheatre, and he didn't hear when he asked me what my name was, he didn't hear, but he heard the first letter was B, so he just started calling me B. So yeah, ever since then, my grandmother bought me this necklace, which you would have seen in every single one of my videos. I do not take it off. So automatically, everything has been bees. People started buying me things with bees. I started collecting things with bees. So when I saw the Lila Studios Busy Bee cross stitch, she does have another one that I wanted, but it was out of stock. I just fell in love with this. So I'm not sure when I'm going to stitch this. This is one that is just going into my stash. It doesn't actually call for too many threads. It does call for gentle arts and a couple of DMCs thrown in there, but there is a DMC conversion. I'm just going to put it in the stash for now, and then when I'm ready to stitch it, I'll stitch it. But the amount of bee patterns I have, I could probably have a bee wall. I probably could. So, and then I bought this French pattern, which is Entre ciel et terre. And it's got this gorgeous phrase in French on here. Absolutely lovely. Just seeing what it has. It is one colour. It is charted in 815 DM. I'm sorry, I've got the hiccups now. It's charted in 815 DMC. It is this gorgeous kind of reddish brown from the looks of the pattern. I'm not actually sure what colour 815 is. I haven't checked yet. But I just thought this was lovely. And it basically says, thinking is searching for a clearing in a forest. I just really, really liked the pattern. I love this section at the top up here, and then that's repeated at the bottom. I have no idea when I'm going to stitch this. It was only a couple of euros. I have not stitched anything by the designer, which is Isabelle Hancourt-Fortier. I haven't stitched anything by her before, and I just love the pattern. She did have about 7 different ones similar to this style, but I also love the quote on here, because this was something that one of my teachers at university, and this is one of those teachers that really impacted what I was doing, turned around to me, and it was in a lesson, and she said it to everyone, but then at the end of the class she said, make sure you remember that. And it was this exact one: penser c'est chercher des clairières dans une forêt. Thinking is searching for a clearing in a forest. And I'm not sure if it makes much sense in English, but the quote is quite meaningful for me, so I am going to be stitching that up at some point. So that is all of the haul that I have purchased. Now I am super excited. So my parents didn't know what to get me for my birthday, and I was looking on Clouds Factory because the giant Harry Potter sampler has been something that I have wanted to stitch forever. It was one of those ones that even before I learned how to cross stitch, it had come up on my Instagram feed somehow, and I absolutely loved it. And I really, really wanted to stitch it, but it was quite expensive. It was one of those that, where would I put it? I don't really have space, and it's just going to be curled up under my bed in the box. But I kept looking at it, and then my mum turned around to me the other day when I was looking at it, and she goes, she loved it. So they have purchased that for my birthday, so I'll put an image up here. So I'll put an image up here for you to see. But I am currently working on a modification. So I have purchased the threads and the fabric that I will need. They'll be arriving hopefully tomorrow. I'm not sure if I would have started it before my next video or not, but I do have all the stuff ready to start it. But yes, so I am currently working on recharting it a little bit because I am planning to put the names of the characters underneath. There's also some characters that are missing that I think should be in there, so I'm working on charting them. And I'm working on the scroll print around the outside, the little swirls. That's the only part of the chart I'm not 100% keen on, so I'm just going to see how things go, and I'm just going to be working on that. So that is my plans. I'm not sure when that's going to be started, but I am working on stitching the bag. I'm going to be doing a little bit more of that today. I'm of course going to be working on my shadow by Heartstring Sampler. That is one that is just going to be a little bit every day and just see how much I can get done with that by the end of July. But I will hopefully have that finished by, let's say, October, because I know things are going to get busy. So that is everything that I have to show you guys. If you want to stay around for a tiny little bit of life update, then please feel free. If not, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. So just a very quick life update. Obviously I did travel to France. That was a very stressful day of traveling, not only because of COVID and getting through the English airport with all the paperwork, which took forever, but on the French side you also had the influence of Brexit. So that was definitely a new thing for me. Getting my passport stamped and everything was completely new. Obviously I haven't flown over since Brexit's been in place. Did get told that I can't work, which, much to my mum's amusement, I've been telling her that includes housework as well. Obviously I have been doing it, but it is quite fun to watch her reaction. So yeah, so that has been pretty much that. I went and stayed with my two sisters. They live about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from us. But because they're not going to be coming over much and my mum was on a week's holiday, we drove down there, just basically chilled in their flat most of the time. We went, did a little bit of shopping. I bought some fabrics, which are for some upcoming FFO bag projects that I want to work on. And then we came back here and I've been chilling at the house. So my first week here has been very, very busy. The rest of the time should be a little bit quieter, which I am looking forward to, just getting some time to relax and stitch, but I'm so happy that I'm here. So plans stitching wise, obviously I have the Harry Potter one that I am charting at the moment, and when the threads come in I may or may not start that one straight away. That's been one of those ones that's been on my wish list for such a long time, and that's a chart that's going to spend a lot of hours on, so I want to make sure I do it properly. I want to, if I'm putting that much time into something, I want to make sure I've changed the design to how I want it to be before I kind of jump in and start stitching. I do want to carry on stitching my shadow. That's going to be a little bit every day, just to see how far I can get. I will hopefully have the Dreaming Girl finished. Not sure when that is actually going to be finished, but hopefully I can get that one. It seems like it's going to be a fairly quick-ish stitch, so hopefully I can get that one finished and then start on the next one in the series, because that is that. I also have the real urge to stitch on my Long Dog sampler Queen's Gambit. I haven't started it yet. I've been really good. I said to myself that I don't want to just be starting things just to start them. I want to really kind of finish some of my other pieces that I bought. So I finished my Made to Create. I finished my what else have I finished? Oh, I finished stitched the Flosstube extra piece, which hopefully you guys will be seeing next week at some point. I am hoping for Sunday, but it depends when the materials get in here to actually make it. And I was going through and having a look, but I don't have anything with me that is that close to finished. Now, I do have a very sad story. My sunshine from Buffy threads has disappeared. No idea where it is. I thought I packed it in my bag, in my suitcase. I was working on it at the B&B. So I checked the room 3 times before leaving, as I do. I am terrible for checking multiple times. And there was nothing left behind. So everything must have been in my suitcase. But I've gone through my suitcase like 2 or 3 times and it's not here. So I'm going to have another look here because I have got a little bit of stuff upstairs, a little bit of stuff downstairs, and see if I can find it. It may turn up back at the school. Maybe I took it to school to work on it and just didn't bring it back. But I may have lost that chart, and my progress on that. I'm not sure. So if it turns up, I will let you guys know. If not, well, we won't be saying that one. Which I was really gutted when I realised, but now I've got to the point where it's like, it wasn't meant to be. If it's not here, it wasn't meant to be. There's no point crying over the fact that I've lost a whip, because I have so many other whips in progress. It's a shame that I lost that one because I was really starting to enjoy that one. But at the moment, I don't even know if it's lost. I won't know until I go back to school end of August, start of September. So yes, so that one you probably won't see any progress on for the next couple of weeks unless it suddenly turns up here. But I have no idea where that's gone. So fingers crossed it is back at the school, nice and safe. One of my colleagues did just check my desk very quickly, but didn't see it. So it could be that I left it. It fell out of my bag, which, to be honest, the cleaners know that pattern. They've seen it and they know I'm the one that cross-stitched. So they could have just put it with my stuff in storage at the school, or it could just be tucked away in one of the drawers and I'll find it when it gets back. So I'm not sure what's happened with that chart. We will have to see back in September whether that one has been found or not. But yes, so that was the only one that was close to a finish. So that's not going to be happening. So I also really need to pull out my Blackbird Designs patterns, because I did originally want to get that finished for the end of the year, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I've got so many other things and I have been enjoying that one. I don't want to force myself to work on it when I'm not enjoying it. So that one was in the naughty pile for a while, but I have, last night I did pull it out and frog the section that had gone wrong. So hopefully I will restitch that one and get that one started again. So as long as I can restitch that section where I kept going wrong, I went wrong in it about 3 times. As long as I can get that bit done, I think I'll be over the struggles with that one and I'll enjoy stitching it again. So I may pull that one out. I have got it in my bag of stitching products to work on. I've just been carrying around 3 projects just so I can start working on them when I'm ready to start working on them. But I think for today I'm going to be working on my English paper piecing a little bit more. I do want to turn that into a bag, so I've got to get stitching on that. I'm going to be working on my shadow and my dreaming girl. So that is pretty much all from me. I've been blabbering on. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. But wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a lovely day. Stay safe and happy stitching. Bye guys!